return to outside as you leave the museum, apparently, from a side door. Yes.
I'm sorry for interrupting. Do we know what time of year it is? I mean, I assume it's in winter.
Yes, definitely. But you have not gotten a date.
Okay.
It's in Maine, so winter is, I don't know, probably a lot like here. I'm not sure. I just imagine it as being cold. You get outside into a heated car, and Henry, you hear a whisper. It seems that direction is from the building, but it's right next to your ear. At least the...
If you build it.
You just feel a strange presence, and a woman, you think, who says, "It's..." You get a brief flash of a statue as you blink. A womanly figure who's blindfolded, holding a scale in one hand and a sword in the other. I don't know if it's apparent to everyone else that you're out of it for a moment, Henry, or you're just keeping a stone cold face. You drive. Sorry?
Oh, sorry. Is it in his mind, or is there an apparition appearing there?
It's just Henry who can hear and see.
Okay.
You drive out of the park area and onto a huge plaza. Very open area. Not Times Square, but it's just a very big place. Probably the biggest roundabout. With the middle section has kind of tents and things that looks like it could be a market in the day. You make a left turn on the main road and drive towards the northwestern area of town. There's not a lot of traffic, middle of the night, and you see surprisingly few people on the street. Almost like people would rather stay inside for some reason. And I need everyone to do a wits and awareness as you're driving.
Excellent.
Is this only using sight, or...?
No, just that general roll. You can add all of the...
You are generous.
Indeed. I shall be doing that.
Okay.
Hey.
Julian with a 10 and a crit.
Julian sees and hears and senses everything.
I am Daredevil.
Sight beyond sight.
Sight beyond sight.
I got a 3, which is respectable in a normal situation, but is kind of lackluster next to that critical 10.
Julian's like, there's a deer.
Approximately 3,200 yards ahead of us. It's clicking its ears right now.
Don't run it over. It will try to get you to run it over. Yes. Don't do that.
Oh, I did not see a roll. Hello. Try again.
I've tried twice. Let's try again.
There it is.
That doesn't look right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's your time to be cursed today. Let me see if I can do it.
The soon cursed.
Currently I can.
There we go.
It like blips and then it doesn't do the thing.
Yeah. I don't know, try to reload, otherwise I'll have to...
Okay, well then. But 2
right.
successes. That's fine.
Yeah. Dahlia? You think you hear, like, in the trunk? Like a rat in the trunk?
Oh, no.
Julian, you also hear the rat in the trunk. Kind of get as clear well, not a look because you're a blind man, but you perceive the streets as well as you can with your super senses. And the only thing out of the ordinary is that large raven is following you. You hear the flap of the wings and something clearly flying over the car. You arrive at a point where the main road turns left and right. It turns left the car, and stops at kind of the edge between Hale Gate and West Terrace, and drives into an alley to let you guys out. You hear loud metal music coming from the West Terrace side of the road.
I suspect this is the place. Shall we? Let's go open up the door, step out.
Sure. And he'll follow out.
Yes. Well, follow the sounds, the music, the very loud voices, like you would expect from a crowd, very displeased with something and yelling and screaming. And almost you imagine them having at least torches and pitchforks or very large signs that says something about the government doing some shit wrong. But what you arrive and see, first of all, it's outside a bar called the Hellhound.
Love the play on the name. I appreciate it.
The bar has a dark, moody atmosphere with a gothic and somewhat sinister vibe. The exterior is painted black with red neon lights outlining the windows and doorways, casting an eerie red glow over the scene. Above the entrance, there's a large, menacing demon-like figure with sharp horns and glowing eyes, giving the bar an even more menacing appearance. The signage also is also illuminated in red neon, with stylized text that says "The Hellhound." The windows reveal a warm, dimly lit interior with bottles of liquor lined up on shelves, typical of a traditional bar setup. Outside there are a couple of small tables, suggesting the bar might have outdoor seating. The building itself is old and worn, with graffiti visible on the walls and a generally gritty urban setting. The street outside is wet, reflected in the red light, adding to the moody and atmospheric feel of the scene. That's the building itself. Outside the building is a very large, about 100 people, angry crowd they're probably in a line at some point, but they seem to be quite upset that they can't get in. And they have to wait, and there's not enough room. To the left, if you were to exit the bar, there are 4 or 5 guys standing at their motorcycles. They have big burly beards and vests and what you would expect from a biker attire. Across the street is a man who looks a bit worse for wear, like he lives on the street. He has long gray hair, a big beard that goes to his chest, and he is holding a sign yelling, "Repent, sinners! You must repent! The demons are walking among us! You are the devils! You are inviting evil in! You are the spawns of Satan!"
How tedious.
But yeah, it's a very bad mood outside the bar. I guess I'll go around the table to ask people their intention. If you just want to stand and observe, or you want to be more proactive. Ella, what are you doing as you see this scene?
Is this a known building? Does she get the sense that she's been here before, or she's connected here?
Not at all.
Been anywhere?
It's not really a place you would frequent.
Okay.
It's a bit too rough.
Yeah. So she is above the situation. She, the words of Arthur, I'd expect to find someone of his caliber at this location, so she's not going to give him the attention. And if she could, she would walk inside past it all, like she didn't see it at all.
Yes. Henry?
The person that's sort of on the loudspeaker giving all the shouts, what do they look like? What are they wearing? Any clear religious symbols, or is this just a rabble rouser?
seems to be a kind of doomsayer homeless person. He has many layers of clothes. It seems to be like he lives outside.
And are many people paying attention?
Not really to him, but he kind of adds to the whole shouting across the street. But he seems to think that they are the fault that evil are in the city.
Henry will sidle closer to him.
Yes. Dahlia?
Dahlia is going to accompany Ella inside, and if anybody moves to stop her, she's going to make it very clear that that's a bad idea and that they need to keep their hands off.
Yeah. Dowser?
Dowser will go and try to kind of help Julian walk out so that he doesn't have to walk with a cane through a crowd of people.
Thank you.
Of course.
I assume, Julian, then you're following his lead?
Julian is now in this moment with all this sound, he is truly blind because he turns off heightened senses or else it would like rupture his eardrums. And so he is reliant on Dowser in this moment.
Yeah.
Genuinely grateful for this moment.
Well, as you approach, first I want to actually, before the rest of you get into the bar, Henry, you get up to the man who looks at you, but he does not relent from his shouting.
Henry will just spend some time looking to see if he's targeting anyone in particular, or if it's, is there any logic to this? Is he just ranting at a space someone would listen to?
Well, he's shouting about people being impure and sinners and inviting evil in, and the whole speech about inaction, and if you do nothing, then you are part of the problem. And then he stops and he looks at you. You seem like a smart man. You see the problem, yes? All this fornication and drinking and just letting monsters walk around them, taking what they want, drinking their blood, cursing them, stealing their children. It's their own fault. I'm trying to save them.
But it's not for you to punish or to point out. They will get their just salvation at the end.
No one else will. Not even the priests. They are too are servants of Satan.
All priests, or
All
just
the
the
priests
local
in the
ones?
city serve the demon lord himself.
The demon lord?
Satan, Lucifer,
Ah,
the light bringer, the prince of darkness.
and which of these priests serves him best?
I assume it's the man in charge. I don't know the name. Hope Cathedral seems to be the center of this evil.
Well, surely you should be there rather than here.
They always throw me out. Have the police come and pick me up and put me somewhere else.
You would give up so easily.
I'm outmanned and outgunned.
No, no, not you. You seem stout of heart. You should go there now.
I
If they
should.
don't want you there, there's probably a reason.
I should.
Tell you what, if you go there to the cathedral, I'll come along later.
You, sir, you're part of the solution.
Your name, please.
Charlton.
Pleased to meet you, Henry.
He
I think I'll find you again.
shakes your hand if you let him. He's, of course, not very washed.
No, Henry keeps his hands firmly behind his back.
He'll just tap you on the shoulder then and walk past you. The rest of you, when you walk towards the bar and the crowd, you can kind of stop and see, okay, this is going to be an issue because everyone is apparently trying to get in and is very upset about not getting in. A woman kind of just pushes the door open so hard that the glass in the front door shatters. She's wearing high heels, a blue, very short cocktail dress. She has brown hair, young looking, very charismatic, beautiful. She just gets out on the street and everyone starts to, woo! We love you, Melinda! Just taking it all in. And yeah, doesn't really notice you guys. But begins. Sorry.
Well, we found her. He just says the dowser.
It would seem we did.
The shattering glass tipped Julian off.
Did something break? Is there a fight?
I will let you know if we need action.
She begins speaking. You all need to do a composure and resolve.
I assume that I can add unswayable mind to this.
Yes.
She's doing some Toreador shit.
Oh shit. I'm gonna. I think I might put a willpower in that. A little low. 2 1s.
That's 5 successes for the audience. I assume that that's a respectable enough roll. Don't know.
Nope.
I'm still borked, but I would have 7 dice for this.
It's a pleasant voice.
You can just roll 70-10. And all the 6s and above, so successes.
We just assume that the last one is my hunger die.
Oh, I see. I am going to need to re-roll that. Damn.
Henry's safely outside.
Okay. Let's see here.
I got 4
Re-roll.
successes. We count my last die as
Spend the willpower.
The difficulty is apparently 10.
God damn.
Oh, not 7. Ugh, sorry.
Let me see here. How many dice can I re-roll here? Oh, that's not.
And no willpower. Roll it up to 3.
Yeah, but I only had actually 2 failures here, so it's just Melinda is rolling a lot of dice. I'm trying to debate whether or not this is even worth it.
Probably not.
Huh?
It's probably not.
Probably not. No, yeah. So I'm gonna go with this. I'm a little unhappy that she's like bringing out all the big guns here, but she is Toreador, so.
Yeah. No one succeeded, right? Do a frenzy check. Difficulty 3.
Oh my lord.
See?
Already?
Fuck.
It's a good thing we're all at hunger 1. I mean, that helps. I
Yeah,
think.
you have 4 willpower.
Yeah.
Ella, if you can, don't forget to add your up all night humanity thing. Don't know if it makes a difference, but I think it's an extra die.
I got scared.
What's the difficulty again?
3. I got scared. I'm like, oh no.
I just did it. Yay.
Oh no.
Oh, she's so put off by this. Yeah.
This grotesque display.
Yes,
Oh
indeed.
no. My frenzy is not. It's like it worked before we started, and now it's technical difficulties. Womp womp.
Oh god. I'll try to reset the.
It's
API.
weird. It's so like the rouse check will work, but not the thing. Like when I do this, it's got a weird box where it's just like a little gray box. It just says submit, cancel. And then it like blips like it's going somewhere, but it's obviously not going there. Womp womp.
All right. I'll try and see here. You're restrained, or you're I think it's only Henry who needs to roll.
Oh, sorry. My bad. I didn't do the first one because he was outside. So what was it? Resolve composure?
Oh, just a Frenchy check.
Oh no, I didn't do the first bit. What was the first one?
Solid composure.
Yeah.
You can't avoid this by talking to the crazy guy.
I want to stay outside. I don't want to die. Wow.
Yeah, that was impressive.
Wow. That takes skill.
Press check difficulty 3.
Dahlia
Success.
is the only one that's unhappy here. Shit.
Okay, before I take control, do you want to spend a willpower to avoid this?
I will. I'll spend a willpower to maintain control while, things are happening here. So.
Well, back to the thing. Melinda speaks out to the crowd. Don't take shit from anyone. Take what you want. Destroy everything. And you feel rage. It's boiling inside you. You're able to contain it. And as she's talking, she's kind of walking away and towards a little fast sports car that's parked down the streets. And the mortals just fucking erupt and they start to destroy everything and each other. What do you guys do?
Push a glass off the table.
You're still outside the bar, but yeah.
If I can hear the shout,
Same thing. Push a glass off the
just
table.
push a glass off something.
Yeah. You want to get away from?
Is the FBI agent here or no?
You don't know. You don't
Thank
think so.
God, right?
He would be lost in the tavern brawl about now, as you guys will be as well if you don't get away from the crowd.
I believe we might want to move Julian, and I will lead him away from the crowd if possible.
Towards Melinda or the opposite direction?
Towards Melinda.
Yeah.
As they're going, he's like, quite a passionate speech. Not a lot of substance, but a lot of emotion. That was it almost made me want to throw something over.
Knock a glass over. Yeah.
Hey, you don't get red in the face, Dahlia, but you are fuming right now.
Oh yeah,
You're able to
she is
contain it.
just so over this already. She can. If vampires bled the way that normal people do, you would see blood from the palm of her hand. Like the nails are digging in. The teeth are. You can see the jaw. Like the teeth are clenched. It's just It's coming off of her that she's already over this situation. She's already just done with this entire scene. These are not her people.
Also, Julian, you walk towards the car. Henry, after throwing a glass and knocking something over, what are you doing then?
Waiting.
In the crowd?
Yeah, just uncertain. So he's looking around, waiting. Mortals don't tend to react well normally around him, so he's just sort of trying not to draw attention to himself.
Funnily enough, no one wants to get near you, which is probably for the best. But the rest of you, unless you move, people will start throwing shit at you. Probably punches or bottles. Ella, Dahlia.
So, yeah, moving in the direction of Melinda, because obviously that's the only reason we're here, and anything that we can do to get away from this scene whatsoever. And my understanding is Melinda is heading towards a car, or am I completely mistaken about that?
Yeah, a little tiny sports car thing.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna get there before she drives off because we need to apprehend her. If I can. I don't know what my frenzy means, but she's just really just going to. And if anybody gets in her way, she's really just going to unload on them. She's going to break their face. So, yeah.
That's probably one guy that comes close to you. Don't need to roll away. Just
she's going to shove his hand like football, just stiff arm, shove her hand straight in his face, push him aside. Yeah.
Melinda seems quite happy. She walks over to the car and turns and see you guys. And since none of you are blushed, she says, new friends.
Oh, we forgot. We always forget.
I was going to do that, yeah.
Blushing's not going to do anything for Henry.
Maybe I'll just do it. Damn it.
Seems we need a bigger car. She starts walking down to the next car, which is a large van, and just
we have one.
Punch
Don't
your
we have
fist
our own car?
through the window.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Wanna
That'll
party
work.
at my house?
We're actually here to retrieve you.
Let's retrieve me home then, because that's where I'm going.
Okay. You know, Dahlia sees Ella nodding and just like.
I want to get out of here before Sabrina and her brooding butt plug shows up. So,
I thought we had to bring her back to the Baron.
I did too.
The Baron has asked you to return, so we should all go back.
Fuck the Baron and fuck Margaret. They don't have anything on me. Get in the car. Kind of just, it doesn't unlock, but she pulls so hard in the back of the van that the door just opens. A bit bent.
And just shaking her head, she's still fuming. Like, she wants to pinch the bridge of her nose, but she's afraid that she might actually pierce the bridge of her nose with how irritated she is. And she will get in, and just in her mind, she's exercising all of her willpower to basically maintain control and not just throttle Melinda right here. So, yeah, we're going to maintain composure as much as we can while we're grinding our teeth and go along with our little strumpet's desires for the moment.
Everyone getting in the back of the van, or does anyone want to sit next to Melinda? All right, Ella.
As we're getting into the van, Julian's like, "This isn't our car. It doesn't have the new car smell."
No, it's not our car. No. In fact, and now it has a shattered window. That's fantastic.
That's what that breaking sound was.
No, it was. Yeah,
Yes.
they're breaking all over the place. But yeah, that's what happened. And I suspect that this is not Melinda's car either. So I'm sure this is going to go great. She just says it all casual, like, I'm sure this is just going to be great.
Why are you committing this theft, Melinda?
Theft?
You're causing... Yes.
For fun, of course. What else? It's just not. She seems puzzled by the question. And gets in the car because, well, you also hear the police sirens in the distance. What else is there to do in a fucking town where you can't leave? Girls.
Dahlia is going to reach over if Julian is sitting next to her. Maybe he isn't, but if he is, she's going to reach over and take his hand, and she can feel how ice cold. He can feel how ice cold her hand is, and how her nails dig in his hand. She's holding on to him just like to maintain her composure.
Melinda hotwires the van and drives off, and as she is holding the steering wheel, she kind of, with the other hand, in an awkward position, stretches it towards you, Ella, not looking at the road. Hi, I'm Melinda.
She will. She's looking at the road pretty nervous, but she will give her a extraordinarily firm, strong handshake.
As you do, she kind of turns to the wrong side of the road and quickly swerves to the side before she's confronted with another car. Oopsie! And continues driving. The other car kind of turns and hammers into a light pole.
May I do a wits awareness roll, please, to see how far away the police are?
It's the opposite direction.
Opposite direction? Okay.
You don't have to roll. You're
Okay.
you're far away from the noise, so you can turn on your ears again. You do drive a little bit through a... Well, first, the city is kind of weird. It's Gothic neon Victorian main architecture in this part of town. It's a weird mesh. And you arrive at a not a forest area. It's quite open. It looks more like an orchard, but there's a big driveway with trees on every side, or both sides, just all the way up the driveway to like a huge thing. It looks like something you have at a mansion. And you do arrive at a 4-story, very large mansion with as soon as the car arrives, you see the staff, the maids what else would there be? Not gardeners at this time of night, but people who maintain the place. You also see armed guards, a lot of them. And she kind of just pulls her out, a big statue or fountain in the middle, and parks in front of the front door. There's a few steps up to a large double door, this huge place, and steps out. And yells out very loudly, "Honey, I'm home!" And people seem very afraid of her, and quickly disperse. She arrives.
Imagine why.
Without waiting for you to get out or anything, she just pushes the door open. It slams against the wall very roughly, and she walks into the house.
Well, she's
Dahlia's going to follow her.
quite a character.
Yeah.
Inside the house, there's a huge dent in the paneling where the door handle apparently always slams into, and this seems like an occurrence that happens every time she opens the door. No one has bothered to replace it. They mentioned those magnificent, very high ceilings, very large rooms, two very huge staircases going upstairs, but she just continues into a kind of hall with typical thing with the bar and the piano and large seating areas and couches and the dining table, and a place you could probably host around 200 people easily, and that's just one room. Big glass doors that reveals a large, well-maintained garden, the full moon in the background. Of course, there's the fog all over the place. She just walks in. There's an old man kind of hunched over. He looks about 70, 80-ish, shaking with a tray. There's a decanter of blood on it. Next to him is a red-headed woman in a maid's uniform. She has her head bent and kind of cowers as Melinda grabs the decanter of blood and starts pouring glasses. And just falls down into a couch.
Yeah, as one does.
Take a seat, have a glass, make yourselves at home.
And then we see the Baron.
No. The butler, you think? The old man is just, "Welcome to the estate, madams, sirs." And Melinda says, "Ignore him. He's old and dry and boring."
Dahlia is going to properly sit down across from her in a chair. Not relaxed, not splashing down on a sofa or anything like that. And with the glass sitting there in front of her, because of course she doesn't want to seem impolite, but yeah, like her eyes staying on Melinda.
I don't know how many of you sit down. There is a glass of blood waiting, if you do. More than enough. There is a tray of, 10 glasses there. But she sits down, she takes a sip of the glass. The butler starts walking to another room. She says, "This is fucking old," and just tosses it at the direction of him, not hitting him, but it shatters against the wall. The red-haired woman, she quickly hurries to get a broom. Melinda pours herself another glass. Fucking useless. So, new to town?
Quite. And she's looking around at her companions like, how are we going to handle this situation?
Ella would speak up and she would say, "That depends on your definition of new, but we came together this evening for the first time in a long time, it seems, so."
Welcome to hell.
First the Hellhound, then here.
No, it's just a shithole of a town and we can't leave.
Is that your decision or someone else's?
It's no one's decision. It's just a matter of fact. If anyone leaves, they don't. Well, we don't hear from them again.
Is it a matter of accounting?
No, it's a matter of the fog. It's just preventing everything from leaving, except the lupines for some reason. Maybe it's because they're not dead.
I'm sure nobody minds if they leave.
No, they can fuck right off. Oh,
I
I'm.
was sent by the Baron to retrieve you.
I have been retrieved.
We have to bring you to the Baron.
Oh no, it's fine. Just out partying, and Margaret can't do anything. I have what you might call diplomatic immunity, which is nice.
How are the staff doing?
There's no one here except the woman with the red hair. She's cleaning up the glass as she's walking. The shattered glass.
I think Julian would try and help her.
You just hear the brush and the.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah,
I got
yeah.
you. He would just do something else. Maybe be like, it helps her up when she's done or something like that. He feels bad for him. The way she's treating them. And well, your definition of partying is starting a riot, it seems.
Well, it kind of gets the blood flowing, in a sense, figuratively speaking, of course.
You like to make a scene.
I like to bring out the best in people.
That's their best. She says, pointing back at the door, like that says what you consider their best.
Well, they got into the bar, or maybe they became a part of it.
Well, there may not be a bar there for very long with their best.
That's fine. They rebuild it once a week. I'm quite rich, as you can see.
Very well taken care of.
I pay for what I break.
Indeed, yes, and you break things all the time. It's clear.
Spend my daddy's money wisely.
Yes. Your daddy, who would be
away and has not returned for about 60 years. We must live like the old ones. We must be more smart than this. Don't give in to your emotions, Melinda. We are Prometheans. We are philosophers. We are kings. Blah, 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 blah.
Yes, it's quite clear that that's all beneath you.
Boring.
Well, we've been informed that, we've been resting for the better part of 3 decades. There's a new thing called the Second Inquisition that is hunting us. And they do not seem to be kept back by the barrier. They can still enter in here, and you causing this trouble is putting everyone at risk.
They're not here.
That may not be the case forever.
Haven't done anything supernatural. I just gave a rousing speech and broke a car.
That's still the tension, though.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm famous.
You certainly are. We have, despite your own feelings on the matter, been asked to bring you before the Baron. Whether we want to or not, whether you want to or not, we've been asked to do that. Yes, Margaret has made that very plain and clear, and I understand that there's some animosity between you and her. But and we all have to do things we don't want to do sometimes. I know that you probably don't do those at all, but it's
trust
put us in
me. I'm helping
a bit of
you
a
out
situation.
here. She does not want to see me. She just wants me not to create attention, and I'm home now because if I go see her, we could go see her. She's gonna become very annoyed, and
you might break something there.
No, I'm more in the sense of Margaret breaking something, but she won't do anything to me, and I can tell her to jump up her own ass and die.
Well, perhaps for our benefit, she has given us domain on the condition that we bring you. We need a place to stay. And so if you could do us a great favor, just go and meet with her with us.
And I would personally, I would like to see you interact with her. We haven't seen you two together, honestly, and we're as you've noticed, we are rather new to this scene.
It's fine. We have an understanding. I keep her secret, and she leaves me alone. I can call her. Say I'm home. You did your job. I assume there's a rat somewhere that's watching us right now. There always is. Or a bird, something.
Dahlia is going to look slightly towards Julian.
There was one follow. Well, he wouldn't. I don't think he would. He can't tell that you're looking at him. Yeah.
Melinda is also looking at Julian. What are we watching? He's quite pretty. Scrumptious, even.
He's just like, I'm not watching anything really.
Of course you're not. You're blind.
Would I be able to sense if there's a vermin of some kind, a familiar,
There's a rat outside the garden doors. Kind of hiding behind the...
its little face.
Yeah.
That is correct. There is one of her creatures here.
Margaret is always watching. There's very few places in the city, or town rather, that she does not send her little vermin.
Not quite so blind as he puts on, obviously.
If you would, as I said, it would be if you would do us a favor. Why not? Why not go and see her tonight with us? It wouldn't hurt anything. She can't hurt you.
I quite like the suggestion of a phone call. You can put it on speaker for all of us to hear.
Fine.
It'd save us the trip.
She yells out very loudly. But it carries it. Edmund! Come here! You bastard! After a while, a shaking old man walks into the room in a very slow pace. Yes, madam? Get the phone. The old one. The special one. Yes, madam. And he walks up. If anyone would like to do a very good insight roll, they will be able to do so.
I would like to do that.
I as well, my lord.
I had thought that you were going to make Julian do a frenzy check there when she shouted for
like a little yelp. You don't add heightened awareness to this, right? Like it's an insight thing. It's not really.
Like you could, yeah. It's still a sensory thing. It's a wits insight. So
You are so kind.
That's 3 successes. It's not terrible.
I'm a little nervous about that 4.
The beast. That beast is
I'd be
very awakened, Julian. Very awake. Always talking to him.
I'd be willing to put willpower in it to avoid like a negative.
Oh,
like
3 is fine.
Another
Okay.
conversation with your beast?
No.
Julian got
I
a
hate
4
that
with a
guy.
steal.
The beast is an asshole.
Difficulty is 3. So anyone else want to make the roll, or are we calling here? Do you want me to make the roll for you, Ella?
You can, yeah. Otherwise, I could just roll the amount.
Yeah.
That's what I got. I got 2 anyways. But.
Dahlia and Julian, although your methods differ, Julian is more going by the way she moves, the tone of her voice, subtle things that only Julian knows how to pick up on. But Dahlia, you can kind of see the body language. You wouldn't know it, unless you pay attention, and it's very subtle, but she actually has affection for Edmund, even though she treats him like shit. She is fond of him, and it doesn't seem like it seems like she deliberately misses him when she throws things at him. When he comes back and puts like a tray with a phone, it looks like a phone from the 90s. Some of you probably recognize it. Like fucking huge, like a bag. And she looks at Edmund and says, "Thank you, old fool. Now go away." And he leaves the room as slowly as he entered. And she just puts in 3 numbers in the phone. Very short phone number. And puts the phone down. So there's the microphone speaker facing up. You hear Margaret's voice. "What? I am home." Good, I assume they are with you? "Yes." She kind of holds the phone towards you, waiting for one of you to speak.
We are here, Margaret.
"Thank you very much. I assure you, you do not need to do anything further. If I were you, I would get out of there before she drives you insane." And Melinda hangs up at that comment. See? Everything's fine. Oh, names and everything. Just quickly.
Well, why don't you, we can all introduce ourselves. I'm Miss Gray. My companions here, like myself, are we are in a way new arrivals to the city, and in the same situation as you, in that we are unable to leave. Although, from what I've seen of it so far, it's not the worst place to live. There are worse, bad parts of town, obviously, but
give it 60 years.
Yeah. I'm sure it grows on you in its own
like mold.
Very interesting way. Yeah. Right, like mold, which is not always terrible, but yeah, I can see where you might feel confined. Someone of your outsized presence and personality in Maine, here out in the middle of what feels like nowhere. So must be very frustrating for you. And there's an edge to her words, just slightly like she's kind of getting back at Melinda just for being such a pain in the ass so far. So she's trying to work a little bit of edge in there, and like trying to feel out points of aggravation there. So yeah, like, oh, you must feel so confined, like a bird in a cage, So, yeah.
One does what one has to in these kinds of situations, which is why I might act a bit unruly, but it's just out of boredom. It's not out of malice.
Oh, of course. Stuck in a place like this, someone of your magnificence and caliber, yes. And I'm sure that the rest of my companions will introduce themselves to you perfectly well, and I'm sure that they have questions.
Dahlia's long conversation, Henry will just nod, say Henry, and then go back to standing quietly, arms folded.
And what about the beautiful people in the room? She looks at Ella, Dowser, and Julian.
Tally's going to feel just a little put off by that.
They all have stunning. I have to acknowledge.
I know. She's still going to feel a little put off by it.
Henry will.
Here we were being put off by you.
Julian would whisper to Dowser, "Who is she referring to?"
She's referring to us three.
Oh, I'm Julian. Pleasure to meet you.
Your hat reminds me of when I was young.
What year was this?
18 something, I think.
You're not too far off. It's been a long time since I've spoken to someone from the same similar time and place.
I'm young when you think about it, at least compared to the others in the town. They're from the old world.
Well, names are unimportant to me. You may call me Dowser.
You look like a sailor. Am I mistaken?
You're not far off.
And the beautiful lady?
Ella. Ella Valentine, but you can call me Ella or Miss Valentine.
Ella it is. Not so formal. Well, I like friends, I like parties, and if you ever want to do any of that, then come see me. You can also just hang out. I don't mind. It's been an early night. But I suspect you have things to do. Where are you located?
What was the place that they said our domain was again?
I believe the others said we awoke in the old house.
Oh, the demon pit. Yes. Okay, now I know where it is. No one has been able to enter that house for 34 years, so...
It was well secured.
Greeted by an quite haunting butler, if they tried.
Seems quite nice.
He's polite. He doesn't break things.
Never had the pleasure. I have my own butler.
We saw, yeah. You seem to have a good relationship with your butler.
He's an old fool, but he does the job. The red-haired woman walks in and kind of stutters and says, Miss Hale, speak, Miss Hale, the police are here. Just stands up, starts walking towards the door. I don't know if anyone of you follow her, but you kind of just turn around and see the front door. It's a bit far away because of the size of the building, but in the doorway, a woman of Puerto Rican descent, quite attractive, wears the uniform, standing, and she says quietly to Melinda, only Julian would probably be able to hear it, but you can all see she's pointing at you, and she says, I'm here for them. Melinda, she turns around, it's for you! Busted!
So they haven't come into the estate, right?
No.
Okay. I'm gonna rouse.
Oh, same. Blush of life.
Would my blush of life still be going from I rolled it earlier?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Anyone gets hungrier?
Yep. So I am going to immediately down the refreshments that Melinda had offered to return my hunger to 1.
Dahlia, your beast speaks.
Oh. Okay.
Hello, friend. I see we're wasting time, not studying, not doing what we need to, claiming souls, building things.
In time. These are minor inconveniences that are in our way for the moment.
Ella?
I assure you, we will get to this as soon as we can.
Ella, your beast does not speak, but you do hear a woman's voice. It's very melodic and beautiful, entrancing almost. It says, "You need to free me." Nothing else but that. You feel kind of attached to this voice. Like it's something you know. Something you're fond of. You all blushed. The policewoman. Yeah. Well, Henry's.
Henry's banking on the fact that he can tuck his head down and maybe she'll look at the table full of blood before Henry.
Yeah. Well, she does not enter the premises, but Melinda is just kind of waiting. Come on. It was good knowing you.
Yes.
Julian again, yes. Towards the door.
Thank you, Dowser. I'm all right.
Outside.
Dahlia will reluctantly move towards the door as well.
Outside, 3 police cars are parked. And one of the officers, he looks at you, Dahlia, for a moment, and he seems like he's thinking really hard about something. But kind of shakes it off. The woman says, "I'm Officer Vasquez. Please get in the car."
May I ask why?
Well, I assure you, you're not in any kind of trouble. It's just easier. You are going to see her, and I'm not going to introduce us because she's going to do that herself.
Henry's just going to get into the car.
Dahlia is going to follow Henry.
The police hold the doors open for you, respectfully. They don't touch you. They don't give you any hard looks. They're almost like limousine drivers. It's kind of weird.
Julian would walk up and break down his cane, like the one, that you folded up and put it away. Could you help me get in? To the officer.
Yeah, you're let in very gently. They're not rough. They're actually, it seems like they think you're made of glass, or they're afraid to offend you.
See, Julian could have gotten it, but he learned something about them by them helping him out. So he just kind of like nods his head approvingly once he's in the car. He's like, "All right."
Melinda just standing in the door. "Nice knowing you." Menacing grin on her face. Or a shit-eating grin. You're escorted away and drive through the town. Actually, to the opposite end of it. The architecture changes as you hit inner Bridgeport. It becomes more... I don't know how well traveled you are, but... somewhat Asian in appearance. I'm not, my architectural vocabulary is not that good, so I can't really describe it, but I will have some pictures. But it's Indonesian architecture, inspired at least. And you cross a very large bridge over a river and drive into outer Bridgeport, where the Indonesian architecture is even more prominent. I need everyone with sensing scene to do that. With wits. Ella, I'm gonna do it for you.
Wits and...
Oh, you don't have auspics, never mind. Wits and auspics.
Wits and auspics, okay.
Yes. Difficulty 3.
I'll do a willpower reroll.
Works. That is a 3.
And Bowser.
I got a solid 1.
Solid 1. Okay. Julian and Henry and Dahlia. You notice something weird. Apart from all the wraiths, that's another issue, and not so important right now. There just seems to be a lot of them. I think Dahlia is probably the most interested in this.
She's fascinated by this. She for the very first time this entire night, you see her actually genuinely smile.
But the weird thing is, above each doorway, and I mean each doorway in these two domains, are a little seal of an iron spider glowing. Every single building in these two districts, above every entrance to the homes, is this seal of a spider. Clearly enchanted. You arrive at your destination, which is a very large greenhouse meant to house a smaller rainforest inside, which is very clear when you walk inside because it's warm, it's damp. Obviously, the lights are a bit dimmed. There's the mist inside. It's not outside, like outside where it's cold. This is rainforest mist. You hear all the animals, you hear all the plants, clearly not from this part of the world. Officer Vasquez just leads you through the greenhouse to a back room that's kind of away from all the humidity. Looks like an office area. And she pulls aside, it seems like a bookcase on wheels. And there's a door behind. She opens the door with a large key and opens the door for you, kind of gesturing for you to walk towards through it.
This is very clearly not a police station.
No.
Yeah.
Deceptive.
Yeah. So that's a comforting relief that it seems like at least those people who are masquerading as local authorities are not actually the local authorities, or rather that they're not working just as the local authorities. They're
Who you're about to meet, she owns the police.
Yeah. That's what I was attempting to say in so many words, yeah. Which is comforting. Like they're the fact that the police are owned, that's nice. So yeah.
It's a tunnel, kind of a cavern you walk through, or at least it's naturally occurring or digged out. It's not the usual, it's not.
Naturally occurring?
No, it's not a building. It's not meant to be. That's not what you expect from a basement. What I'm trying to say. I was trying to look for a different word. There are a lot of cobwebs in here, very thick cobwebs, and it tunnel kind of becomes wider and wider the further you go in. There's still the heat, the humidity, and the smells of rainforest in here. And around a corner, as the tunnel opens even more, you see a spider, twice the size of a basketball, black, with like a red on its behind. I don't know what it's called. It's
abdomen, thorax.
Yeah. If a lot of the eyes are watching you, and it kind of just scuttles backwards as you approach it. There are a lot of spiders here when you look around. Smaller spiders, obviously, but and if anyone knows spiders, they look deadly.
They look what?
Deadly, at least to humans. Like small, poisonous, annoying
venomous
critters.
Yeah.
You're into a kind of a cave thing that's been made into a room. There's a rack with a lot of bottles and jars with weird things in it. You all know blood sorcery, so it's very clear to you that these are ingredients for rituals and alike. There's a large table with other things on it. A man kind of chained, hanging from the ceiling. His body has been carved up. His veins are yellow. He's still breathing, barely. And he's kind of whimpering in pain, and he looks like he's having the worst day of his life. Next to him is a woman with a curved knife just running along his skin, just playing a bit with him. She's wearing a purple dress, Indonesian of descent, black hair, kind of the almost pale foundation or a powder. Very deliberately put their red lips, and she, without looking at you, talks and says, "So good of you to come. I am Kaya, pleased to meet you." And then she turns, still holding the knife.
Well, we had little choice in the matter, but thank you.
You could have run away, and you didn't. You didn't force my officers to chase you down, which I appreciate.
You're not the first person to mention that we did not take some sort of violent action. We didn't protest too much. Does that happen often here?
No, but it's not uncommon of our kind. And since you did not run away, I assume you have done nothing wrong. And I assure you that I'm not here to accuse you of something.
Why are you doing that to that man?
That man kidnapped his daughter and tried to sell her for drugs. So I am giving him a fitting end before shipping him to Agnes, who will most likely turn him into a wraith and torment him forever.
Good.
I do not tolerate hard crime. Do not tolerate malice.
Clearly a person of decency and morals.
Same goes for our kind. I understand sometimes you make mistakes. Sometimes you do things that you have to survive, but if I catch you doing something out of greed and pure malice, you will hang there.
It's not a very nice way to begin. Threats.
Not a
Even
threat. It is simply the way things are. I prefer they're not. I hope we can have a fruitful partnership and even help each other. I just want to really make sure that you understand the rules of this town before you deliberately try to break them.
What are your opinions of Melinda then?
Annoying. She has something on the speaker, I do not know what, but clearly it's good enough to grant her some kind of
Clemency?
yes.
Lenience? That must irritate you on some level.
It is a little bit annoying, but she is not. She mostly breaks things and buildings.
Keeps your people busy, I imagine.
Yes, unfortunately, we do have to uphold the normal appearance of a police force.
I
But
appreciate your principles. Things and objects can be replaced, but not people.
we cannot. But some people need to disappear. You do not leave a tumor to fester. Cut it out quickly and efficiently before it spreads.
Henry raised a gloved finger. This is if we break, the speaker said, the Camarilla's rules. Is that correct?
No, my rules.
And okay. And just for clarity, if we were especially malicious when we killed someone, that would be bad.
Depends on the person you kill.
But if they deserve it, if they are like your friend here.
You're doing my job.
Noted, thank you.
You said cutting out the tumor cleanly, efficiently. Is that how you would describe what you're doing here?
I'm making sure he never finds peace. Not even in death. He's gonna live with his choice the rest of his existence. Even as a wraith.
I believe I can be of some help with that. If you would accept my assistance in this endeavor. I too am dedicated to enacting a sense of karmic justice upon those who clearly have it coming, and would be honored to lend my services to its enactment and completion.
It's good to hear, and I appreciate it. I will certainly keep it in mind.
Thank you.
I believe you should meet Agnes, but you probably will at some point.
I've already made a note of it. Yes. You had mentioned her, and she seems very much like someone I would find common cause with.
She is Cappadocian, and one of the original Salem witches.
Fascinating.
I'm sure a lot of things in this town is gonna seem very confusing to you. If you're ever in doubt about your plans, breaking the rules, or stepping on someone's toes, feel free to come talk. I'm always here to listen and answer questions.
Do you have an easy way for us to reach you, should such an occasion arise?
Here, my door is always open. I ask that you do not feed in my domain, simply because I do not want my charges to suffer any accidents.
I was referring more to the line of communication that Melinda used, perhaps to communicate with the speaker, modern telecommunications, as it were.
I sent people, and even if you knew sorcery, it would not be able to penetrate my domain.
I see.
I suggest not calling the police to get in chat with me, but
Of course.
Officer Vasquez knows what you are, and she would be able to help. Also, if you think that you have made a mistake and need a cleanup, please make sure you get a hold of her first, before any of the younger and less in the loop kind of police. I do have a service for that. Cleaning, I mean, and making sure the Masquerade is not broken should an accident happen. On camera, or in front of people.
Given your connections with law enforcement in this beautiful city, have you any information or knowledge or awareness of elements which fall outside of your personal retinue, as it were? Since it seems to me that you do have the law enforcement situation well in hand, we have received information about certain other elements in the city working.
You mean
Working
Agent Hemway?
That would be the one, yes. I see you are aware.
Unfortunately, he is FBI and his jurisdiction surpasses my offices.
But
Right.
I imagine you have eyes on him.
Of course.
Yes. Okay.
I have my little birdies everywhere.
Indeed.
Literally. She looks at the rest of you. Dowser. You are Tremere, yes?
Yes.
You look like something else earlier. Does that happen often?
Not too often.
Do you take precautions? Not to appear like that in front of humans?
I will do my best, but unfortunate accidents may happen.
I appreciate it. Julian? The man with sight beyond sight? You're looking for Wilborn?
Yes, how did you know?
You said earlier.
Oh. This is Kaya talking, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It seems I'm not the only one with sight beyond sight, as you said.
I've had my creatures follow you around.
Was the raven yours?
Raven? No, not a raven. She looks a bit
Correct.
confused. You
Were you
did see a
correct?
raven, but no.
Mm-hmm.
Or hear a raven.
Yes, I'm seeking out Wilborn. Before I lost my memory, that's the reason I was here in this place. Is it within your domain?
I can reach out so he knows that you're looking for him.
I would, that would be excellent. I'd be very grateful.
And Dahlia, you already said Agnes. Is there anything I can do for you, Mr. Masters? Or Henry?
I was thinking the very same. We seem to be of one mind. If there's anything I can ever do for you, do let me know.
I'm sure something will come up. You have shaken the pot with your arrival. Things are about to happen. And Miss Valentine, was it? Anything I can aid you with?
Not at this time. Not that I can think of, but I believe if you're here, I'll be able to find you again.
Yes. Otherwise, talk to one of my birds or officers. I rarely leave this place. It's safest here. It's weird. You notice that your beast is unnervingly quiet in here. Ever since you entered the building. Like it would be hard to call on some of your powers. Should you wish to.
Is there any way we can perhaps sense or understand why that might be? Or shall we just ask?
That's up to you.
Yeah.
You can do an occult roll if you want to. Or
I'd like to
ask.
do that. Yeah, I'd like to do that. I assume intelligence and occult.
Yes.
Oh, be right back.
Yep. You want a willpower?
Yes, I do. I'm gonna willpower that. Let me just go ahead and hit the willpower reroll here. And that's 5 total. Yeah. No, 4 total. I'm sorry.
So force enough. Well, you know a little bit of blood sorcery, and it's not your greatest area of expertise, but you are old and have been around town, so to speak. You know, there's a ritual of dominion that kind of prevents anyone else, other than the vampire who cast it, to be able to call about certain powers. Mostly the powers of scrying or domination, that sort of thing.
Okay.
You are fully blind in here, Julian. But
unfortunate, but I can see why perhaps that she would have enchanted this place in such a manner.
And you imagine, actually, you know, it requires a seal above a doorway, and you think of all the houses that you drove past with the seal above the doorway. Those apparently it's every building in her domain.
With the spider.
Must have taken a long time.
Yeah. She's been here making her little lair for a while. Yeah. I respect it. She's carved out a nice little secure place for herself here.
I'm glad to have met you all. And I hope we see each other again in such a polite and approving manner.
The feeling is mutual.
Indeed. It seems that you are rather respectable and observant and consistent in your duties here, maintaining the situation, status quo, security, as it were.
As long as you don't harm innocents, I will be a good friend to you.
May I just say something? I am not one to tell people how to conduct their business, especially in the realm of justice. But I'd be remiss if I did not at least make my feelings known. Fate can be cruel, and its trials and tribulations can make us do things that we otherwise would not do through suffering. I'm not saying what that man did was not unforgivable, but it is not us to whom we give our forgiveness. I think he has suffered enough. And I think death without rebirth or resurrection is a suitable enough punishment.
Maybe you're right. She jams the dagger into his stomach and just carves so his entrails fall to the floor. Man finally dying. She does not flinch.
And hearing the sounds of it,
Yes.
like maybe the sound of the guy, and he just like, he's conflicted on his face, like, thank you.
I wish you all a good evening.
And to you as well.
And I think that's about the time where we also end the episode. Even though I want to go longer, it's getting late.